Today, we will talk about understanding a life estate and its key components. A life estate is a form of joint homeownership. Ownership is shared between a life tenant and a so-called remainderman. As the name suggests, the remainderman has an ownership interest but cannot take possession until the life tenant's death. The life tenant may live in the home but may not sell it or mortgage it without the agreement of the remainderman. The life estate is established with a deed that states that the occupant of the property is allowed to use it for the duration of their lives. The deed will also name the person who will receive the property after the life tenant's death. Within a life estate, the life estate deed is a document that grants the owner the ability to pass on ownership of a property without including it in a will as part of a person's assets. Life estates can be created to provide a lifelong income for a person rather than a lump sum inheritance. In this case, the estate consists of money invested in income-producing instruments, such as bonds, oil and gas leases, real estate investment trusts, and other similar investments. Under this arrangement, the life tenant receives income for life, but they cannot access the principal amount. No matter what type of property is involved in a life estate, the life tenant cannot sell it or borrow money against it without the agreement of the remainderman. If both agree to the sale, the remainderman could demand a portion of the proceeds based on a predetermined scale that reflects the life tenant's age and current interest rates. Typically, the older the life tenant, the greater the share the remainderman can expect to receive. Once you've considered creating a life estate and have decided it's what you need, there are only a few steps involved in setting up a life estate. To do this, you will need to draft a life estate deed and have it notarized. You will also need to specify the life tenant and remainderman in the deed. Finally, you must file the life estate deed with the appropriate government office to make it official. Life estates carry both advantages and disadvantages. The most notable advantage of the life estate is that it simplifies the transfer of a home to the next generation. If the home is included in the homeowner's will, the probate process may delay the transfer. If there is a life estate, the transfer is automatic when a death certificate is filed. One other potential advantage: the home is no longer an asset of the estate. If a person is enrolled in Medicaid and receives services paid by it, state governments may sue the estate to recover the costs. A life estate protects it from Medicaid estate recovery. However, there is a potential legal disadvantage as well: the life tenant may become involved in any legal problems that a remainderman incurs. In any case, creating a life estate is a serious and binding decision for a homeowner. They are giving up the option of selling or mortgaging the home and making an irrevocable choice of an heir to the house. A life estate agreement is usually undertaken as an aspect of estate planning. For example, an older couple might consider a life estate arrangement as an alternative to naming a beneficiary in their wills. A life estate agreement gives them the right to stay in their home for the rest of their lives. Then, when they are both deceased, an adult child or children will automatically take title to the property. Here are 4 key takeaways. 1. A life estate is a type of legal joint property ownership. 2. Under a life estate, the owners have the right to use the property for life. 3. Typically, the life estate process is adopted to streamline inheritance while avoiding probate. 4. The life tenant retains all the rights and responsibilities of an owner except the right to sell or mortgage the property. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.